Welcome to my table. Have a seat. This is Eleanor from Peaches by Starlight Tarot, and today we are looking into what's next. So it's kind of like a path, a step by step. So we have stack 1, stack 2, and stack 3. They're timestamped below, and let's get to it. All right, stack 1. Whoops, that's not in frame. Your affirmation, you have, I embrace the possibility of sharing my life with others. So it's a time of better companionship coming in, a time when you might be making new connections and becoming less isolated. So new friends, new suitors, interesting conversations. You might be experiencing a heightened sense of community and interaction with others, and you're growing your network and your extended family. It's good to be self-sufficient, but socialization it's still a basic human need that it might be on your radar right now. So that's where you're moving into. So first you have the King of Swords. You're stepping into a new level of wisdom and insight. You may have recently had some experiences that you're distilling into a new philosophy or outlook, and there's a maturing of thought and like a pragmatic approach to your life and goal setting. You've got a story to tell, and a story the world needs to hear, and you're actually really magnetic right now because you're in the know, or you're a great storyteller and you have knowledge that people want. It's making you quite popular. Like, people want to pick your brain, and you may have to set some boundaries around this because people may try to get free info or advice from you that they really ought to be paying for. So next on your path, you have the Seven of Wands. So yeah, boundaries. And I do see you facing some fears, actually. Fortifying yourself for the interaction, preparing to put yourself out there because it really feels like people are flocking to you, wanting something from you, to be taught or coached by you. You don't seem particularly ready here. Like, you want to hold them at bay, like protecting yourself from liability or some of the negative attention that kind of always washes ashore when you start getting a lot of positive attention. It always kind of brings a little bit of that with it. And at the same time, you're gathering strength because this role is something that you do desire to step into. All right, hang on, I gotta shedding. Okay. So finally, you have the Ten of Swords. It shows you ultimately surrendering to your destiny in this leadership role. It's like it's the end of an era and the dawning of a new one. So this is a card of dissolution. So in the context of increased connection, you might be putting an end to thought patterns that were supposed to be screeners for how you experience companionship that turned into to end up just being total blocks. And you might also see someone else surrendering something that they were holding against you and letting water go under the bridge. Like, someone might end a time when they'd blocked someone. There's like a block coming down. And I mean, this is an ending, but it's an end to this defensiveness. It's an end to this kind of cold pedestal King of Swords energy. It's an end to whatever you were telling yourself about isolating, being a genuine part of your self-care, and rather embracing a more balanced approach to how you relate and exchange energy with others. It's an end to self-deception and fear, and it's then crafting a new narrative where your massive intelligence is an asset to connection and not a hindrance to it. So that's what I have for you, stack 1, and if it helps in any way, let me know by hitting that like button, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you. All right, stack 2, your affirmation is, I experience freedom by becoming aware and having compassion. So this is going to be a time of freeing yourself from conditioning, giving and receiving conditional love. It's realizing that what you want freedom from, it can't be gotten by running away from it, but only by surrendering something. So your consciousness around what your triggers are wired to, that might expand during this upcoming cycle, which gives you the power of choice to release them. Then these things, they lose their power over your behavior. So let's see what you have. I'm sorry, I keep smacking. I know that's bad. All right. So first you have the Five of Wands. So your starting point is a conflicted place or an area of competition, whether that's with others or it could be warring agendas within you, vying for that driver's seat. So it's showing a clash of embattled energies, making things complicated, making things too complicated for you to progress forward down your path. You seem a little overwhelmed by the number of factors and the number of moving parts. Maybe different people to please, or it feels like the energy of having 5 bosses who don't communicate well with each other, and it feels like crawling through the trenches where you could just sail over, but we'll see how you can get to that, how you can do that. So next you have the Devil. All right, all of yes. So he has this blue skin, and we've got the blue of this card here, and it feels like unexpressed desires to me. And there's a choice to engage with this conflict out of fear of quitting or being labeled a quitter for choosing your own peace and well-being over winning. But this is under the umbrella of growing awareness and access to freedom that you can move towards. So I'm seeing this as a discovering what energy is pulling the strings, or actually rather what energy is holding the other end of the leash that it feels like you're tethered to. The answer to why you haven't walked away or found another route around this BS here is revealed to you here. So once you identify it and name it, you have the power to cut that cord, and it's keeping you afraid to speak your mind. Your voice feels drowned out over here, but your truth is the key to unlocking this whole tangle of wills. All right, and finally, you have the Eight of Wands. Right on through after that, it's like a whoosh. By speaking your desire, you can then set an intention, and then after setting an intention, you follow that with deliberate action. So you're now so full of conviction, and you're like a projectile blasting away from the situation, or blasting through the situation. You managed to unclog the works because you found the source right here. It feels like a chain reaction that you only need to find one small part of the answer, and then it just dominoes and unravels from there until the path is totally clear. You're like, I hear you saying things like, I release myself from that expectation. I lay down that source of shame. I surrender that judgment. It's just like shedding clothes that are covered with those little burrs, those sticky burrs, because you're saying, I'm committing to me and not this artificial idea of me. And then you zoom towards contentment. You unclench your fist from the metaphorical cookie jar. You pull that out, and then you just dump your sweet prize out all over the table in front of you. That's how you get those cookies out. It's like there's a subconscious pattern that has been ruling over an aspect of your life, and you're leading a revolution. You're charging in, not running away, even if charging in means summoning the courage to confront this and say, F this, I'm out. Okay? That's what I have for you, Stack 2, and if it helps in any way, let me know by hitting that like button, and I'll talk to you next time. Thank you. All right, Stack 3, there's your flower. Your affirmation is, I accept my own perfection. So that's a card about, it's actually a card about your superpower. Like sensitivity, for example. All the things that make you feel different are what make you perfect. You don't have to change a thing to belong in your own life. So you're being asked to nourish these things to see how powerful you become rather than rejecting them and feeling incomplete or not enough somehow. All right, so first, you have the Ten of Pentacles. Awesome. So you're thinking about your reputation, your legacy, and the mark that you're going to leave on this world. And you're looking to strengthen and reinforce your confidence, your sense of placement and connection, your secure position in the cosmic mesh, as it were. So it's showing you using your intuition more in order to illuminate your next steps versus following in anyone else's footsteps or trying to recreate an existing success. You're realizing that to build what you want, you can't get there by being anyone else because that role is filled. You're deciding that you don't want to be one of many. You want to be the one and only. And this can apply to a relationship too, but Pentacles are mostly about your professional and material world. So there is that, in case you're wondering what they're talking about. Could be. Oh, next you have the Seven of Pentacles. Now we do have another couple here. So that does make it kind of feel more like on that partnership side. So you're looking at what you've built so far, and you're asking yourself some tough questions. So this is starting to feel more like a team effort where you and another are planning what you want your life together to look like. Physically, like where would it suit you to live? How do we divide the earnings and the labor? And where do you want to travel together? Do we want to have children or adopt or have pets? It's all that kind of assessment and that evaluation. And you're comparing these desires and visions to what your choices have brought about so far. You're saying, is this really us? Do we both become fully actualized together on the path that we're on? Did we follow our truth here? Or did we follow the herd here? And then I see you choosing maybe some tweaks. There might be some tweaks. And others of you, I'm hearing, like, if it's not a partnership, if it's more of a solo thing or a creative project thing, and I hear you saying, like, there has to be more to me than this. Like, it's just that, all I'm hearing. So, finally, you have the Ace of Wands. So I take that back. Not a few small tweaks, a major and massive tweak. A creative solution is born that almost feels like a miracle, except for the fact that you did it yourself. This pile of pumpkins, it feels like this set of circumstances and possessions that you've manifested up until this point. And by discovering your inner magic, you transform them right here and now to be more in alignment with your vision. And what's cool, there's no Tower card, there's no Death card, there's no Eight of Cups card, just magical, inspired, out of the blue, positive change. The only thing that can change that dramatically in that short of a time is a perception shift. A shifting from what things aren't to focusing on what they are and how to work with them, or to put them to work for you. All of a sudden, your unique qualities go from being a perceived impairment to your secret weapon or tool for creating this story with that Ten of Pentacles. Instead of numbing, denying, or shaming your intuition or your sensitivity, you're going to turn up the volume on full blast and use it to help others, to make a living even for some of you, or to fire up your courage to take this relationship where it was meant to go, instead of kind of shriveling up on the vine in the wrong environment or with the wrong nourishment. So that's what I have for you, Stack 3. And if it helped at all, let me know by hitting that like button, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.